The last evening of the year was bitterly cold, and snow fell silently over the darkening streets. Through the cold and gloom, a poor little girl wandered, her bare feet frozen and red from the icy ground. She carried a bundle of matches in her apron, but not a single soul had bought even one all day long. Hunger and cold weighed heavily upon her, yet she dared not go home with no coins to show her father. In a small corner between two houses, she curled up, trying to keep her tiny limbs warm against the biting wind. Her hands were stiff with cold. If only she could light just one match to warm her fingers. Scratch. A bright flame leaped to life. Suddenly, she felt as if she were sitting before a great iron stove, filled with a roaring golden fire. It was so wonderfully warm. But just as she stretched out her feet to warm them, the flame went out. The stove vanished, leaving only the cold darkness. She struck another match against the wall. The light made the bricks transparent like a veil, revealing a room within. A table was spread with a snowy cloth and fine china. A roasted goose, stuffed with apples and plums, smelled divine. But the match flickered and died. The grand feast disappeared, and she was once again alone in the shadows. She lit a third match, and a magnificent Christmas tree appeared, even larger and more beautiful than the ones she had seen through windows. Thousands of candles twinkled on the green branches, rising higher and higher until they became the steady stars in the night sky. A star fell, trailing a streak of fire. "Someone is dying," the little girl whispered to herself. Her old grandmother, the only person who had ever loved her, used to say that when a star falls, a soul is going up to God. She struck another match, and in its bright glow stood her grandmother, looking so clear, so kind, and so full of love. "Grandmother," she cried, "oh, take me with you!" She quickly struck the rest of the matches, wanting to keep her grandmother there. The matches burned with such brilliance that it was brighter than day. Grandmother took the little girl in her arms. They flew high above the earth in joy and light, to a place where there is no more cold, no more hunger, and no more sorrow. In the cold morning light, the little girl was found sitting in the corner, her cheeks rosy and a smile upon her lips. She had frozen to death on the last night of the old year. People looked at the burnt matches and sighed with pity. No one knew the beautiful visions she had seen, or in what splendor she had entered into the new year with her grandmother. This story reminds us to open our hearts to those in need. Small acts of kindness can be the light that warms a lonely soul. Let us share our warmth and hope, ensuring that no one has to face the cold alone. Every person deserves to feel loved. Before the shadows grew long, there were days filled with laughter and the sweet scent of baking bread in her home. Grandmother would tell her tales of stars and angels weaving magic into the quiet winter evenings. But seasons changed, and hardship knocked on their door. The warmth of the hearth slowly faded into memory. With a heavy heart and a small basket, the little girl stepped out into the world to help her family survive. She called out to the strangers, her voice soft and trembling, but they were all too busy with their own celebrations. As the lights of the city began to glow, the loneliness felt like a cold blanket pressing down on her small shoulders. Each turn of a head away from her felt like a spark of hope dying out in the freezing night air. A stray cat paused for a moment, sharing a brief look of shared survival before vanishing into the shadows. The visions weren't just dreams, they were the echoes of a love that the world had forgotten, but she still held dear. In those flickering lights, she found the strength to smile even as the world around her turned to ice. In our modern world, where everything moves so fast, it is easy to miss the quiet whispers for help. But when we stop to listen, we realize that we all have a match to strike, a light to share with someone in the dark. May we all find our way to a place of warmth, and may we be the ones to guide others there as well. For in the end, love is the only fire that never goes out, warming us through the longest and coldest of nights.